They are the most controversial team in football. Welcome to 105 Studios, and today we will be counting down the top 10 Washington Redskins. Before we begin, some honorable mentions go out to Joe Jacoby, Dexter Manley, Clinton Portis, and Sean Taylor, who just missed the cut. Number 10, Ken Houston. Traded from the Oilers for 5 players in 1973, Houston immediately impressed by intercepting 2 passes against the Chargers in his first game as a Redskin. A few weeks later, Houston would officially arrive by successfully taking down Walt Garrison of the rival Dallas Cowboys at the 1-yard line to stop a potential game-tying play in the final seconds of a close Monday Night Football contest. During his 8 seasons in Washington, Houston grabbed 24 interceptions and was named to 7 straight Pro Bowls and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1986. Number 9, Charley Taylor. Thanks to a coin toss, the Redskins were able to draft Taylor 3rd overall out of Arizona State in the 1964 NFL Draft, and his pairing with veteran back Bobby Mitchell gave the Redskins one of the top 1-2 punches in the league. Taylor would take home NFL Rookie of the Year following the 1964 season after his 1,500 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns. However, his running style would grow troublesome to new coach Otto Graham, as Taylor was too impatient to let plays develop in front of him, so he was begrudgingly moved to wide receiver. Taylor would go on to lead the league in receptions in his first season as a receiver, and would go on to make 6 Pro Bowls from there throughout his career. Taylor retired as the league's all-time receptions leader with 649 catches. He also gained over 9,000 yards and scored 79 touchdowns. Number 8, Chris Hanburger. Taken in the 18th round of the 1965 draft, Hanburger was seen as too undersized to play in the NFL. By the next season, he would be the starting outside linebacker, making his first Pro Bowl. As the quarterback of the over-the-hill gang defense, Hanburger was seen as one of the smartest players in the league, whose play recognition ability was second to none. The gang would lead the Redskins to an appearance at Super Bowl VII against the undefeated Miami Dolphins, and though they were able to hold their opponents to just 14 points, the Redskins' offense could not overcome the no-name defense. Even without a ring, the Hangman would finally make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011 on his 27th year of eligibility. Number 7, Joe Theismann. Some players just take longer to develop, and Theismann is one of those cases, as it wouldn't be until his age 33 season in 1982 that he would really begin to hit his stride. In a strike-shortened season, he led Washington to an 8-1 record and an appearance in Super Bowl XVII, where he threw 2 touchdown passes in their victory over the Miami Dolphins. The next season, Theismann would pick up right where he left off by going 14-2 and winning league MVP. He would also lead the Redskins to their second consecutive Super Bowl appearance, but they were dismantled by Marcus Allen and the Los Angeles Raiders. In November of 1985, Theismann was tackled by Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor from behind, gruesomely breaking his leg. Theismann would be taken off the field in a stretcher and never play again. Number 6, Russ Grimm. Playing his entire career with the Redskins, Grimm was a member of the Hogs offensive line under head coach Joe Gibbs, and their ability to hold down the line of scrimmage helped the Redskins win 3 titles. During his career, Grimm was selected to 4 All-Pro teams and 4 Pro Bowls, and was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2010. Immediately following his pro career, Grimm was brought in by his former team as an assistant coach, where he spent 8 seasons developing players such as Pro Bowler Chris Samuels. Number 5, Sonny Jurgensen. In need of a quarterback, the Redskins traded 2 players to the Eagles to acquire Jurgensen. During his time in Washington, Sonny went to 4 Pro Bowls, led the league in yards 3 times, and touchdowns once. While Jurgensen consistently lit up the stat sheet, the teams he played for were never really competitive. This wasn't until 1971 when he went down with an injury, and backup Billy Kilmer led the Redskins to their first playoff berth in over a decade. This created a quarterback controversy, which Kilmer would ultimately win, leading the Redskins to a Super Bowl VII appearance. Over the next 2 seasons, Jurgensen would make sporadic appearances before retiring at the end of 1974. To this day, he is still ranked second in most Redskins passing categories, including yards and touchdowns, but it is unfortunate that the teams he played for were never able to match his personal success. Number 4, Art Monk. A true prototype of a possession receiver, Monk was always reliable with some of the shortest hands in the game. In 1984, Monk set a record for the most receptions in a season with a staggering 106 catches, which would earn him All-Pro honors. Monk would never go a season with fewer than 35 receptions and caught the ball in 183 straight games, which was a record for the time. As the leader of the receiving trio, known as the Posse, Monk was the main focus of many defenses, which allowed teammates Gary Clark and Ricky Sanders to stretch the field with their speed. This trio made the Redskins fierce in the passing game and helped the team win 3 Super Bowls. In his third and final Super Bowl, Monk would showcase his skills with 7 catches for over 130 yards in the Redskins' victory over the Broncos. Monk is still the Redskins' all-time leader in receptions and yards and is second in touchdowns. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2008 after 8 years of waiting for something everybody believed was long overdue. Number 3, John Riggins. The Diesel's early years in Washington were less than remarkable, as he rushed for fewer than 1,000 yards in his first 2 seasons combined. But in 1978, everything changed, and Riggins would rush for over 1,000 yards and win Comeback Player of the Year. He would follow that up with an equally impressive performance in 1979. However, this momentum was stopped in its tracks when Riggins would sit out the entire 1980 season due to a contract dispute. After returning to an average performance in 1981, the Diesel would help the Redskins reach the Super Bowl in 1982 with one of the most impressive performances in playoff history, with 136 carries and over 600 yards in just 4 games. This would be capped off by a Super Bowl appearance that included 166 yards and 1 touchdown, including a go-ahead 43-yard touchdown on 4th and inches in the 4th quarter, and will be named Super Bowl MVP for his performance. He will continue to terrorize defenses into his mid-30s by leading the league in touchdowns in 2 of his final 3 seasons, which is more impressive due to the punishing style in which he played. Riggins is the all-time Redskins leader in rushing yards and touchdowns, making him the greatest runner in team history. Number 2, Darrell Green. Fast. Only one word can describe his Hall of Fame defensive back. In his first ever game, Green was able to chase down Cowboys running back Tony Dorsett on a breakaway run to prevent an 80-yard touchdown. Green would do this to even the best running backs in the league throughout his career, never seeming to lose a step. He was even better against the pass, catching at least 1 interception in each of his first 19 seasons, an NFL record. The most impressive thing about Green was his longevity. Nicknamed the Ageless Wonder, Green played 20 seasons, all with Washington, and played more games than any defensive player in league history, starting consistently through his age 39 season. Green was the best defensive player in team history, with the most tackles and most interceptions, as well as being a member of 2 championship lineups. He was a freak of nature that not even Father Time could seem to slow down. Number 1, Sammy Baugh. In their first year in the nation's capital, the Redskins drafted Baugh at number 6 overall out of TCU. Baugh would immediately prove his worth, leading the league in passing and guiding the Redskins to their first NFL championship, where Baugh threw for 335 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Baugh would go on to lead the league in passing a total of 6 times during his career, a mark only matched by Steve Young. This was in part due to the fact that he was one of the first pro quarterbacks to utilize the forward pass and his exceptional accuracy with the deep ball. Not only was Baugh a great QB, but he was an exceptional punter and defensive back as well. This was showcased in 1943 when Baugh led the league in not only passing, but punting and interceptions. That season, in a game against Detroit, Baugh threw for 4 touchdown passes and intercepted 4 on defense. By the end of his career, Baugh would hold several records at each of his positions, with some still standing to this day. His number 33 is the only one officially retired by the Redskins, and he was a charter member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1963. An all-around excellent talent, Slingin' Sammy is an easy choice for the greatest Washington Redskin of all time.